The episode opens with Commander Kelly singing karaoke, and you see everyone having a fun time and get a quick glimpse of Ed where you can see in his eyes a momentary lingering on old feelings for his ex-wife, establishing with a mere look that this episode will largely focus on the captain and commander's past relationship. Next up to sing is Bortus, but just as he opens his mouth to belt out some Celine Dion, a communique interrupts. The Orville is tasked with providing neutral ground and passage for representatives of the Nevarian and Bruidians. They had been in conflict over the planet Lipovius, and a possible solution has been found. A neutral third party will search for evidence of ancient inhabitants by examining an artifact found in ruins on the planet for a DNA signature to be used as evidence for rightful ownership. The Union isn't completely confident that both sides will honor this agreement once reached, so the Admiral requests that informal negotiations take place on the Orville while the experiment is taking place, hoping for a more amicable solution. Before the delegates arrive, the forensic archaeologist needed for the examination of the artifact is picked up from the Olympia. And here's where things get complicated. It's Derulio, played by Rob Lowe, the man who Kelly cheated on Ed with. While this alone would make for an episode full of conflict and lots of personal and relationship interactions, which the Orville is always very good at, things are thrown into hilarity overdrive when, as it is eventually revealed thanks to Alara's efforts, Derulio's annual heat begins to excrete pheromones spread by touch that affect certain members of the crew, wreaking hilarious havoc similar to the Deep Space Nine episode Fascination. However, before this is understood, Kelly is yet again caught sleeping with Derulio by Ed. Oh, and by the way, Commander Kelly's quarters have a second floor? And things get even crazier as Ed actually starts to fall in love with Derulio, or at least have this fascination with him as well, and actually kind of begins to compete with Kelly for his affection. And Yaphet's dreams come true. The Doctor is in. Yowza. Alara begins to take control of the situation, leading to the funniest moment in the entire series up to this point. While things are adequately resolved on the relationship front and with the two warring parties discovering they both share a common ancestor from the planet, I'm a bit mixed on the reveal that it might possibly have been the influence of Derulio's pheromones that led to Kelly cheating in the first place. While I don't see the future writing going in the direction of that being an excuse, I do think that it will make the path to forgiveness a little bit more viable on Ed's front, and I do see that as making an opening to where they might be able to reconcile, and I'm unsure at this point whether it'll go to reconciliation that would eventually lead to them falling in love again and being married, or if they will go the route of them falling back in love again, getting together and realizing that it's not going to work for the long haul. I can see it going either way with the writing, where it gets them back together permanently, or it gets them back together for a little while and then realize that maybe they weren't meant to have that quite, same relationship and just be friends and that type of thing. I could see it going either way depending how they write it. I could see some people possibly seeing that as at the end of this episode, before it's more is taken into account in further episodes and the relationship is explored further. I could see some people saying like, oh, that's just going to be an excuse and kind of wipe the slate clean, but I really, again, as I said, don't think it'll take that route. I think it's something where that meeting of her and Derulio back then and the pheromones just drew out a relationship issue that was already there, and something that already could have possibly happened, brought it to the forefront and brought things that were kind of bubbling beneath the surface to a head very quickly and unexpectedly. But I don't think it created something that wasn't there at all. Something had to be there at some point. Overall, this was another great episode that didn't have a huge focus on the action aspects. It was purely relationships and humor in a sci-fi setting, and it worked so beautifully. This isn't my overall favorite episode so far, but I absolutely 100% think this is the funniest episode by far. I was laughing out loud even the second time I went through and watched this. I watched it first thing this morning, watched a bit of it again before doing this review, and holy crap, it is so funny. This is another one of the great examples that the series has had, not even a full season in at this point, to where it has, I think, a lot of just value to rewatch a lot of these episodes and be enjoyable multiple times. I think it's missing from a lot of other sci-fi shows right now. Absolutely fantastic. I love this episode. It was so funny.